Would you say that there's a particular Democrat that is serving in the House or Senate or maybe somewhere else that is like your inspiration and you feel like you align most with them?
I won't necessarily say inspiration as far as like running and things like that, but I just get it. There's too many to name. Like, the members of the January 6th committee are some of the first people that come to mind, and even ideology. We disagree on ideologies. Um, but even some of the Republican members there that just had the ability to stand up and put their country over their party, and over their personal self, that was inspiring. And I disagree with a lot of them on their policies and stuff like that, but that's the type of things that's inspiring. Think of something bigger than yourself. Obviously, I love Jamie Raskin. He's one of the smartest members it appears to be in that body. And I just love that everything that he's done, everything that he stood up for. Um, but there are too many just to rattle down a list of people that I respect for multiple reasons. And I think that would be great. I look forward to learning from all of them and staking my own identity as a congressman.
Yeah, and I'm actually curious about that. So, if you were to be elected, how would you serve alongside the Republicans who in 2021 voted against certifying the election? They would become your colleagues.
The same way that I protected him for the last 3 years. Voting against the certification of the election is something they have the right to do. Under the democracy, they have the right to do it. But that's why it's so important to have members in Congress who will follow truth, who will follow and respect the Constitution, and who will respect the voters of their district's will. And it's important to have those the truth out there. You know, they have the right to do it, whether I agree with it or not. It's not illegal to vote against the certification of the election, but it's morally wrong to have that vote based upon lies that you knew were false. And I think that's what I'm fighting out there uh, to put a stop to.
I do also want to ask about the financial viability of your campaign, just because it is already a very crowded primary. And as someone who's never held elected office, you're running against people who are in the Maryland State Senate and delegates who are
Yeah.
running to fill this seat. So, what makes you a better candidate than the other ones running?
Those candidates that are in the field, great, great candidates. We all are fighting for the same thing. But I think this moment right now that we're in, it requires an individual like myself who has, for the past 3 years, and figuratively speak, literally, metaphorically speaking, one arm tied behind my back with the limitations of what I can say and what I can't do. But for this moment right now, I've shown that I've been willing to stand up to Donald Trump, to push back against the lies while protecting the integrity of democracy against individuals who have said things about me, about my coworkers, about that day of January 6th, that one are completely lies, and two that just are flat out insults to what those brave men and women went through today, especially on Law Enforcement Appreciation Day today.
That ties into my last question. Going back to issues that, Democrats especially are fighting for, I wanted to talk about mental health really quickly. So
Yes,
I'm
yes,
curious,
yes.
how have you managed your PTSD and the toll that January 6th, 2021 took on you?
I'm glad that you brought that up, and I would love to talk even more in depth about mental health because that's one of the things I've been pounding the pavement about. And when I'm in Congress, I look forward to enacting any and all legislation that helps reduce the stigma, surrounding mental health, and get it mainstreamed, and more accessibility to care with regards to mental health because it is real, and we all Americans, no matter party, gender, race, we all suffer from issues. The world is cruel. The world is a cruel place, and we need to understand that is. I like to use the phrase, it is okay to not be okay. And anything that we can do to normalize that, I am all in for. And I look forward to, enacting all legislation that can make that possible. But personally, how I deal with it? Um, I've kind of like turned this moment or what happened on January 6th into motivation. I love the phrase "be the change that you want to see," and there's an opportunity now with Mr. Sarbanes leaving office, and you can't just sit around and wait for somebody else to do it. And at the end of my life, when it's all said and done, I want to be able to say I did all that I could, and I'm going to continue fighting.